So, what's going on with the chart of Bitcoin at this time? We see a massive 10% decrease, a 10% loss on this daily candle, and right now we're looking at the weekly chart. But on the weekly, we're 13% down from the open level, and what we see is we're now gravitating towards this 0.382 Fibonacci level, and we're just above the previous lows. So technically we are still making higher lows, meaning we're still in an uptrend. And what I wanted to call to attention is just the fact that it's been called to my attention that we are making a bear flag pattern in the 2-day pattern, or in the 2-day chart. So, what a bear flag is when there's an upwards flag and there is a downwards pole, like, shape. You see, like, the opposite would be a bull flag. This is where we have an upwards trend in price and a downwards moving flag. But for those of you guys that do pattern trading, this is like a bear flag pattern. And so what we're seeing right now is us breaking through this flag. Like, this could be a downwards breakout. There's no denying that. And no one really saw this coming. No one really could call this type of movement. But that's why it's always good to have some money like set aside. You don't want to be all in, because you want to always assume like some event like this can happen, and even to the point that it has already happened. Like, you have to like act as if that moment, like moments like these have already happened, and you want to set aside how much money that you would have want to have been stable and not been affected by that movement, to prepare for these kinds of like unexpected events. So really, when it's coming to trading crypto, it's all about risk management and risk to reward. But the point is, this bear flag, this handle, really started like in this downward movement that was in April. So this is about the length of the handle. Now this is gonna be ridiculous, but when you measure a bear flag movement, you want to take it from the top of the handle to the bottom. And so we're gonna duplicate this handle, and it should give us about the measured move from the breakout point and where we should like expect it. So I would say right here at the bottom of the bear flag, this takes us like below 10,000. So with that being said, like, okay, it looks like I have like some faulty notifications, or like a faulty Amazon order that keeps popping up. But this like flag is scary. Like, we could definitely retest to the 10,000 levels, but that's not what I believe that we're gonna do immediately. Because like I was saying, like, I see the price rising into the new moon in Virgo, but we do have to adjust our expectations here. Because with the astrology, I can't tell the exact price. I could just predict mostly direction of the markets, optimism or fear, stuff like this in the charts. And, right now we're gravitating around the 0.5 fib. We're at a bit of a higher low currently. That's not to say we can't break below this and continue downwards. But if we hold this level, and if we actually rebound and this becomes like a wick candle as opposed to a a a closure, um especially on the weekly chart, then this will have been like a good you know buying opportunity. It's a bit risky though, but um we see that we're closing this daily candle in 17 minutes from me recording this um post right now. But you know it's possible that we keep going down, but more than likely we could see some reversal into the new moon in Virgo. Now, as soon as we start entering this golden pocket, would be good times to like de-risk and like take any profits that you do have like from the from this decline. If you bought anything lower than 21,000 or $22,000 Bitcoin. So in the short term, there's still some like little opportunity for gains, but essentially, once we reach this new moon in Virgo, that's already the time that I was planning to take the majority of my profits and take whatever the market has given us. Because after this, I projected that, and I still project that the price will decrease and return to a previous level. And, right now, astrologically speaking, there are some transits that could be causing this decline. For example, Venus, which is the planet of value, is conjunct to Bitcoin's South Node. South Node is about returning to a point of the past, and it's about stagnancy. So we can see stagnancy in the financial astrology for Bitcoin, and we can see like stagnancy in terms of its value and price at this time. But however, it's important to note that within the financial astrology right now, Jupiter, the planet of good fortune and luck, is conjunct to Bitcoin's moon, and the moon is about investments, it's about holding on to things, and it's approaching Bitcoin's moon. So all the time that Jupiter is conjunct to Bitcoin's moon is showing a favorable opportunity to invest, especially long term speaking. Like in hindsight, this is good price levels. Anywhere in the 20,000s is pretty good levels for Bitcoin. Now, if we get $10,000 Bitcoin, that's even better levels. But essentially, I just see still a move up into the new moon in Virgo. Anywhere within this golden pocket is pretty safe, but with so much volatility to the downside, if this becomes a candle, a wick, meaning if the price starts to move back up and it fakes people out, we could see a lot of rebound momentum upwards. Now, 25K would be great, and perhaps we make a higher high. Perhaps we make one last higher high. We could get to above 25,000 by the new moon in Virgo, which sounds ridiculous, especially like looking at the movement right now. But with large volatility downwards, when the price reverses, there's equal volatility upwards. But we don't know yet right now if this is the bottom. Now, if it is for the day, like, and for this week, then we're still in a higher high, a higher low, so indicating an uptrend. So it's safe to expect another higher high. But it's important to note that the new moon in Virgo, which is in 8 days, so just above a week, and will really be determined by this next weekly candle that comes up, is a good time to like take profits that you do have or de-risk. Because again, like, I'm being made aware of this big bear flag candle, and a lot of people think that we are exiting a bear market, but we are still in a downtrend, like long term speaking, and we're still in bear market territory. So the point is, like, right now we're having like a nice relief rally, but what I projected and what I still project is that after this new moon in Virgo, there could be some turnaround in the price of Bitcoin. So with that being said, I will be talking about the year ahead in terms of the astrology for Bitcoin and Ethereum, particularly Bitcoin, in the next podcast that I'm posting on Patreon. So stay tuned for that. And that is my quick technical analysis for the day. Like, to just be aware of this bear flag. I do think that going into the new moon in Virgo, we're gonna see at least some relief from this candle, and this downwards candle is really probably due to liquidations. People borrowing Bitcoin, thinking that it's gonna keep going up higher and higher, and as soon as it crosses one person's threshold, it sells their Bitcoin to repay their debts, and then this lowers the price more, and then this liquidates more people and more people and more people. So we kind of have a toxic environment of debt and leverage right now in the crypto space. So it's always safe to expect unexpected movements like that, like what we experienced today in this space. And so always to set aside some money that you want to be stable and that you want to be able to make decisions with. So never, go all in. It's all about risk management. But with that being said, it's been a rough day in the crypto markets, but things can turn around from here. Only time will tell. We'll have to see where this close takes us. If we close above this wick right here, which so far we're on track to closing above this, we are in a higher high. A higher low. So believe it or not, still in an uptrend. If we do close below that, this definitely signals a reversal and perhaps even this bull flag or this bear flag playing out. But do I think this bear flag is going to play out immediately after the new moon in Virgo? I'm not sure yet. But I am in the camp that believes that we're going to at least retest 17,000, just due to the fact of the current Venus cycle that Bitcoin is in. Bitcoin recently had a Venus return earlier this year, I believe in April, and we saw that the ascendant was in Scorpio. And this is something that's on Patreon, where we talk about what this Venus return means and the forecast for the year. At the time, Bitcoin was at well above $40,000 when we made this video, and with the South Node being in Scorpio and being in the first house, what we projected is the price of Bitcoin is going to experience destruction or like reversal and returning to a previous point, because South Node is about returning to a point of the past. And sure enough, over the course of the next few weeks, we kept declining, and it's only later that I realized how this prediction actually came true. And bear with me here as I explain how this all relates. But if we go on the weekly chart and we go to this low that Bitcoin hit in June, which was 17,600 or so, we see that is the previous all-time high, or around that level of 2017. So Bitcoin literally returned to a previous point of price, just as the South Node was showing, kind of in the ascendant, and it reversed from there. So that prediction came true literally weeks after we made it, at a point that we couldn't really have, just randomly guessed that and been 100% sure about something like that. We were right in this level right here. This is when Bitcoin had its Venus return, and as soon after as it had it, which had the ascendant in Scorpio, and Venus being about finances and value, Scorpio being about destruction and transformation, we just had this massive downtrend. And point being is that we are still in this Venus cycle, this Venus return of Scorpio. It's about destruction, turbulence, can be about, chaos and things being out of our control and stuff. So it's definitely a negative sign. It's a malefic. So point being, that's why I'm in the camp of Bitcoin, still stagnating in this, like, and at least touching the 17,000 level again at some point, until the next Venus cycle, which will be in early 2023. So we'll talk about what that one is about on Patreon when the time comes. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel to see more content. Also, check out my Patreon where I do astrological content on Bitcoin. I do trade alerts. We talked about the head and shoulders, which is a bearish pattern on Ethereum and how that came to fruition. And, you know, right now it's even coming more to fruition than we thought. So, yeah, like Bitcoin has had a very rough 2 days here. And we'll have to see where this closes. Hopefully it closes above 20,800. If we close above that level, we are still in higher highs, and I believe we haven't wicked lower than that. But I do believe that this downtrend is due to liquidations, people being over leveraged, everybody thinking that it's going to go higher. Usually that's a sign to think differently than how everybody else is. You never want to make your decisions and fall into the hype. Furthermore, we're seeing the RSI get pretty low, especially on the weekly. We noticed that the RSI is pretty dang low. So there is space for us to literally go higher and really rally especially on the weekly level. This RSI is nearly on oversold levels. It still hasn't crossed this moving average either. So as long as it holds above this moving average, we could see a rebound like I'm expecting. So it's important to note that right now we're not by any means overbought, especially on the weekly level. And the close is in 2 days. So maybe this crazy candle turns into a wick, you know, kind of like this right here, where we see things rebound and we noticed that was a great buying opportunity rather than a place to sell. I wouldn't sell at this level just because we don't know what's going to happen next, and we're still in an uptrend. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here, and I'll talk to you guys soon in another post. And I hope to see you guys on Patreon as well. Peace.